make it more difficult because you can do it already. So you will try to move your body up and out. This, you see, the legs out like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Hey, Paul.
What's up, George? Hey, man.
How are you?
I'm stupendous, but I haven't been outside all day. I got to get my butt outside soon.
Yeah, it's beautiful, but it's hot.
It's getting warm. It feels like summer.
No, it's hot. Not warm, hot.
Does my volume sound okay? My audio?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, it's already too warm. It's crazy. It went from like super nice to freaking warm.
Well, they just issued a heat flash for the next 3 days.
Oh,
It's
wonderful.
between 91 and 105.
Well, use Dad's phone.
My phone is located.
Okay, now you don't really need to wear your hat now.
Christian, do your exercise. I'm working.
Jennifer, do you have a virtual background or are you really sitting by the front door of the
I'll
office?
help prop up the book so you don't have to hold it.
Don't you love it?
Isn't that such a great?
I guess that's a virtual background. Okay.
Oh, yeah, you can tell.
Nice.
Don't try to lift your ass up like this.
I know.
Whoever the host is, can you give me the host controls? Who's the host?
Not I.
Who's the host? I need the power, the host power. George, you're in outer space, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, I figured something different.
All right, it's great to see everyone. I'm going to wait just a second here because I need to figure out if I can become the host so I can control the audio here. All right, we're streaming on Facebook. Who's the host? Can I have host controls, whoever the host is?
I think you can just share your computer.
But I want to be able to mute everybody.
Can everybody mute themselves?
I mean, they can, but will they?
If you just stop talking, then they will.
Does it work that way? Okay. I need Christopher as well. Where's Christopher? He's going to help me do some slides here. So, all right, let's give it 30 more seconds for other people to jump on. Pat, I like the facial hair. Good, brother. What do you think of mine? I haven't shaved in 40 days. It's getting thick.
You need to watch that study on how the bacteria is in your mustache.
I didn't say I haven't showered in 40 days. But
It's like those 10-inch nails that are disgusting.
say what? All right, let's do it. So I'd like everyone to please mute yourselves. But as always, if you have some information or some comments or some questions, unmute yourself. You can use your space bar as a walkie-talkie button, or you can use your mouse and click to unmute. So let's make this a conversation. But when you're not speaking, please keep yourself muted so we can minimize background noise. Hopefully everybody can see my graphs here and hear my audio. All right. So these weekly meetings will be kind of short, 20 to 30 minutes. We're just doing quick updates here. So we are building our weekly graphs now. For those of you who've been coming to my monthly market updates, I've never done weekly reporting before, but now since we're doing weekly meetings, we've got weekly graphs. So here we go. April 27th is today. The inventory as of this morning, a few hours ago, this is, of course, areas 101 through 606 in the MLS, all property types, even manufactured homes, 7924. So we're up just a little bit from last week, crept up a little bit. Week prior, 7626, then April 6th, you see 7408. So the inventory really isn't going crazy. It's just creeping up slightly every single week, due, of course, in my opinion, to the slightly slower sales volume. But things haven't gotten crazy. So if buyers and people out there are still so worried about the sky falling, it's just simply simply not happening. So that's the weekly inventory. This chart hasn't been updated since several weeks ago because this is the monthly inventory chart that we normally go off of. But next Monday when we meet, we will have all of April's numbers. So these charts will be updated more then. I have these out of order. So let's go to the sales volume. All
Hey,
right.
Paul, can you go back to that real quick?
Oh, it's, yeah, of course. Which one do you want to see? The inventory?
Inventory, yeah. Look at last April.
Right.
That's kind of good. But the sales numbers are still the issue, right?
Last April had a lot more inventory. It's true. The market was really, really hot prior to the pandemic. I mean, if you look at January's inventory, February shot up a little bit, but then look at, this is pulled the second week of March. So this number was pulled right before the state of emergency went into effect. The second week, the Tuesday of the second week of March, 5,500 units is low. That's like super low inventory. And then the pandemic hit and we shot back up. So yeah, our market was super hot prior to this thing. We'll come to absorption later. Let's look at sales volume. All right, so this has been our slowest week so far, but that doesn't mean that the brakes have been pumped. 457 units still closed. We're coming up to the end of the month, so I assume and I will expect next week's numbers to be quite a bit higher than this. So last Monday, 653 houses closed. The week before, 605. Week before that, 764. So let's do a quick reminder. The state of emergency happened on March 13th. That was when Sisolak announced. I believe that was a Friday, if I'm not mistaken. So if you think about March 13th to April 13th, that's 1 month. So really, the volume shouldn't have really been affected prior to April 13th. So of course, some properties would have fallen out, but the prices that were negotiated and have closed post quarantine order are here, are April 20th. So this is really where the numbers start getting affected. But 457 still closed last week, so it's still good. This is the volume by month. And again, this number on the right side of the screen is at the end of March. Next week, we'll have all of April's numbers, and it'll be very interesting to see what all of April will do in terms of numbers. But as you see here, we were in a strong market prior to this thing. February's closings numbers were strong, March's were super strong, and this is actually lower because towards the end of March, after the pandemic hit, certain properties surely fell out of escrow. So this number would have been even higher. Prices. So I love looking at the prices because this is such a good indicator of how the market is doing. So 310,000 for the properties that have closed in the past week. Now, this is single family residential only. 310 is the median according to the MLS. So that's hard and cold facts right there. Last week was higher. Week before that was 306, but we have not seen a downward trend yet. So let's see what happens next week. Under contracts, this is a strong number, 3178 as of this morning.
Wow.
Yeah, it's up from last week. Hey, Patty, what's up?
Hey, you. Thanks for doing this. I love it.
It's my pleasure. It's forcing me to do my own little marketing videos for my Facebook page and everything too. So it's really good for
You're
me.
doing a good job if nobody's told you that.
Thanks.
Paul, this is total under contract, right?
Areas 101 through 606, all property types.
And Paul, that's really good news because if you notice on, the new active listings, we were increasing by 200 pretty much every week for the last 4 weeks, and under contracts we're decreasing right around 200 per week. So to see it remain, relatively level, I mean, it's only been 2 weeks, but that's rather reassuring.
It's true, and this is an uptick from last week. So you're referring to the
Number of new listings.
the very first.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Increase.
right?
And with that, the number of under contracts increased last week to this week too. So that's a very good thing. That's a sign of health.
Yeah, it was dropping previously, which was a little, little scary.
Little course correction until everybody had to get their footing, right?
Yes. Now let's look at absorption. I know I'm slipping back and forth through these things. Let me go to our absorption. Last week and this week are the same, 2.3 months. So this is still super low, but we need to see what's happening in terms of the entire April. So next Monday, again, we'll have all of April's numbers and we'll get a better sense of absorption. And I assume this number is going to go up significantly. Hopefully it won't go up too far, but once we know how many properties closed all of April, we'll have new absorption rate numbers. It was super low last month. Okay, the new construction stuff still hasn't been updated in sales track. We're still hovering at January. However,
Wow.
Christopher and I, and maybe a couple of other of our office mates attended the Home Builders Research Seminar that was this week. It was just, what, 2 days ago? Today's, what day is it? Monday? It was Friday, I think. Thursday, whatever day. What day is it? It's Monday today. So we have some slides from Andrew Smith and Home Builders Research here that we can go over. Las Vegas Housing Outlook webinar. So normally this is a live event, and last year it was at the Springs Preserve. This year it was on Zoom. Whatever day April 23rd was, Friday, Thursday, something. We'll go through some of these slides here, some interesting stuff that he's reporting. Mainly regarding to new homes. I'm going to email this to everyone, so I'm not going to go through every single slide, but I'll email it to everyone in the office. You can peruse it on your own. So a lot of it is the last year in review. So I'll go as quickly as I can through the last year in review. The last half of this presentation are COVID-19 dates and how the market has changed based on the pandemic. It'll be very interesting to see what's changed. So new home permits from the year 2000 all the way to 2019. So check this out here, this little bump up here. This was 2004 and 5 when the market was in its bubble times. And then you see in late 2006 and 7, the number of permits per year crashed down really low during our global recession. And then steadily and stably, the number of permits per year has risen. Last year, 10,563. So 2019 was down from 18 in terms of new home permits being pulled. Monthly, March was down from February. February was slightly up from January. Numbers of new home closings. So it's good that they put attached product on here. Robin Smith has mentioned quite a few times that there are more attached new construction properties being built, mainly because of density issues and for pricing concerns to keep housing affordable. So as you move towards the right side of the graph here, there are slightly more attached products being built. All right, I'm going to skip a few of these and get to the juicy stuff. Closing price. You see this blue line, which is the long-term trend line for new home closing price appreciation. So obviously it's an upward trend. This is January of 2015 on the far left side of the screen and at the end of March on the far right side. So January of 15, the median price of a new home was $318 and now it's $373. So this is a zoomed out view. And then the next slide, this is a zoomed in view. April of 18 to March of 20. So this is the past 12 months. And it's interesting. This is actually an average decline. The long-term average from 1 year ago is a declining new home median price, according to Andrew Smith at Home Builders Research. Median closing price per subdivision, master plan, rather. Let's look over here. So this is sorted by percentage of, let's see, what are we sorted by here? How does he sort these? Q1, I believe. No, I wonder how they're sorted. Percentage of change? No, that's not right. I don't know how maybe alphabetical. All right, the median price for Cadence is just about 380. Inspirata, 385. Lake Las Vegas is carrying a high median price, 593. All right, you see some other median prices there for new master plan construction. New home traffic and net sales. So I'm going to skim through some of this stuff. All right, he breaks the valley down into 5 different parts: Northwest, North Las Vegas, East, South, Henderson, and Southwest. So he has 3 different data points for each area here: 2018 quarter 1, 2019 quarter 1, and 2020 quarter 1. So he's comparing the past 3 years sales volume. The Southwest took the cake a couple years ago. Mountain's Edge was the big seller, and then when Mountain's Edge started to sell out, that's why the numbers went down from 2018 to 2019 and then 20 in the Southwest. And Henderson is slightly behind. Builders. All right, in the past 3 months, so quarter 1, 2020, KB Home has sold the most. Pulte Group is coming in second. The big reason for that is after they acquired American West Homes, they have a gigantic market share right behind KB. You see that they've basically doubled. The percentage change for Pulte Group is doubled. It's because of their acquisition of American West, mainly. D.R. Horton clocks in at 3rd. Lennar is 4th. This is in terms of sales volume. Richmond, Century, Beazer, Party. Net sales by master plan. These are sorted by quarter 1, 2020 numbers. So Summerlin is the top seller for quarter 1. Excuse me, Valley Vista. I hadn't heard of that, but I looked it up and it's D.R. Horton. It's on Decatur and like Elkhorn, northwest part of town.
That's the area that was considered Aliante 2.
Oh, interesting. Okay. From what I've seen, it's actually its own separate master plan now. It's no longer part of Aliante. Is that accurate?
Correct.
Cool. All right. Nice.
I was in a neighborhood up there, D.R. Horton. Huge houses, very cheap. Nice houses.
Very good.
4,500 square foot, multi-gen, like 500 something thousand.
It's a unique product, and no wonder why it's selling so much. Look at their percentage change from last year to this year.
That one community that D.R. Horton had it was just packed in there. Just giant houses packed.
Are you talking about Valley Vista?
I think so.
Okay. It's considered North Las Vegas because it's east of Decatur there, but it's on the border of Las Vegas.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Inspirada comes in 3rd, 210. Cadence is 4th. Sky Canyon is 5th. Mountain's Edge used to be at the top of this thing, but they're almost done selling out there. And then Providence is, I think they are done now. Providence. Actual subdivisions, top 10 subdivisions in terms of net sale. Sun City Mesquite. Then KB Home at Inspirada. Coming in 4th, Pulte, Reverence Heights. So the reason why the word Heights is here is because these are the houses that are behind the guard gate in Reverence, and versus the houses outside of the guard gate, which is where I live. I don't get to have the title of Heights. Lennar Heritage comes in after that, then D.R. Horton.
Hey, Paul.
Hey.
One thing that you mentioned about the reason for Pulte pulling ahead, it's not just the acquisition of America West. They opened up 2 Del Webb properties, major, which was a huge, people have been waiting for that for quite some time. So when you start looking at the numbers, you'll see Del Webb mentioned quite frequently in the numbers going forward.
Aha. And where are those? Is it this one in Sun City that you're referring to?
No, they have the Sun City, but they have the Del Webb, see at Lake Las Vegas on there.
Oh, right. Okay.
And then the new one in North Las Vegas.
Thanks, Robin. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
So the following slides are zooming in to the period of time I mentioned earlier from March 13th to last Friday when this presentation was aired live. So from the state of emergency forward. So we see here on 3/15 on March 15th, we took a 14% hit in terms of buyer traffic at all the Las Vegas subdivisions, who report to home builders research. And rightly so, because everything closed and it's by appointment only now for the most part. Okay, weekly sales per subdivision. Oh, correction, not per subdivision, weekly net sales total for all new homes. So new homes have taken a significant hit. These are contracts written, not closings, obviously. However, these are interesting numbers here. For the past 2 weeks, there has been an uptick, an increase. So right when it was announced, there was panic and people were hiding in their houses and not doing anything, worried about what's going to come. But now there have been significant increases in contracts written for new homes. They also track weekly cancellation rates for new home contracts pulling out. So in early April, the cancellation rate shot way up, but it's decreasing. So things are actually starting to level out again and get better. All right, this was a good one. New home net sales by area. Which areas of town have the most sales happening? Before the pandemic, this is the orange bar, and after the pandemic, which after the state of emergency was announced, which is the gray bar. Before and after. So obviously the after bars are going to be a lot lower. North Las Vegas and Northwest had the highest sales, and Southwest.
Is there some, how many weeks did they determine this average on the after 312?
Average per week. So it's whatever time period from March 12th until Friday, whenever this presentation was, Thursday. Yeah.
A little over a month. Paul, those are closings? Are those closings? Because
no, sales are contracts written.
Well, what that previous slide though, it looked like an 80% drop. Go back. Back. Right there. Look, your average here is like 250, 270, 280 versus what, about 50? That's like a 70%, 80% drop. So that doesn't match the, you know, like that other slide is like 50%.
We'll have to ask Andrew Smith about that. I'm not quite sure. He's really fast to reply to emails, though. I can ask him. I've already asked him several questions about this so far. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Maybe this one is closings, actually. Average per week. No, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Price range.
My thought of what he wants to do.
Okay. So I'm going to email this, as I mentioned. You guys can study it on your own. Net sales by master plan before and after the shutdown. I think the important thing to take away from all these slides is that houses are still selling. That's the most important thing. Yes, of course, they've slowed down. Yes, of course, the economy has definitely shown signs of a slowdown, but not a stoppage at all.
And a little up.
I know. Things are already showing improvement. I know. So these two Pulte neighborhoods are both, no, a correction. Foxtail is up in Stonebridge, one of the newest, westernmost Summerlin areas. Ashcroft is in North Las Vegas. So these two are selling the most after the government shutdown. Okay, and then the remaining slides are about resale listings, but we already did all that. So That's it for this, guys. I'm going to email that to you. Questions, comments, concerns, any input? Robin, would you like to say anything?
As I mentioned last week when we were talking on the phone during our meeting, the builders, there was the majority of them on the phone call. Were not alarmed. In any essence, they were talking about what they're doing, et cetera, and they just weren't alarmed. I think that the DR Horton, for example, is one that did not shut down their sales offices. They did it by appointment, but they were the only ones that did not shut down completely initially, where a lot of them shut down and then got everything that's why you saw the plummet on traffic. It's because some of them were orchestrating how they were going to handle it, what they were going to do, what procedures were going to be done, et cetera. DR Horton didn't. They, shut it down. They literally, posted signs, but the salespeople were out there every single day. So they didn't sound alarmed in any essence whatsoever. So it'll be interesting on these graphs how it comes out when it's all shook out, because they're reporting sales.
Yeah. People are buying houses. I'm really glad to hear they're not alarmed. Wow. And if they're the big, publicly traded companies with investors to satisfy and to keep happy, and they're not freaking out, why are we freaking out? So.
And actually, I've been on a couple of their webinars and stuff from MLSs in California, and they follow basically the same outline: a sharp drop and then a recovery. So everyone freaked out, figured out, okay, this is the new situation. How do we adapt, and let's get back to selling.
Christopher,
I'm
I'm
glad
glad
the
you're
reason
here.
prices are sales have dramatically, but prices aren't going anywhere because sales are as available inventory is dropping faster or as fast as sales. The NAR reported today that there's 1.2 million houses listed in the United States, which is the lowest since they've been keeping record, which started in 1980.
So I have a question, and this is really, I want to know what's going on with your listings, because I've got 3 active listings, 2 of which had been in contract. And one of them is really good. It's getting a lot of showings, but the other 2, well, I'm looking at the market for them, and one of them is kind of southwest of the Strip, 1 story, 2,000 square feet. There's just nothing going on over there. And then I've got a condo in Rock Springs. There's 30 active listings in Rock Springs and 5 under contract. So it's just, to me, those small little areas aren't, those 2 little markets, right, aren't reflecting the data, which is both those things, even though they're nice properties, good areas, good price point, they look dead, and the showings are dead. So I'm wondering what you guys are seeing on your listings. Anyone?
I have a listing in Aliante. It's a really cute little 1-story, and we had 2 showings since the quarantine, and I just had another one today. Other than that, it's been crickets. So, and then I have a vacant condo. It's got a really high HOA though, and they're not getting, so.
You guys, I actually forgot to share my data sheet with you. I forgot to go over the other numbers. Pat, if anyone
when I talk about the one, it's priced at $380, and the real problem seems to be that there's just nothing going in contract. So it's not the property, it's there's just nothing going on down there. Leah, you had a listing, right? I think the same floor plan, Crystal Springs.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's
just quiet. I mean, it was kind of quiet before there. There's only, off the top of my head, I think there's only three, maybe 4 sold in the last 10 months, 12 months or something. So that neighborhood isn't moving very quickly anyways. Everybody likes it there. It's in a super good location, and floor plans are really nice. And so there's not very many listings anyways, but
What's the price point?
it's mine's 300 on the dot. So, and it's not,
Mhm,
I mean,
mhm.
You have one
yeah,
down there?
on Aliante off of
Oh, Aliante. No, I was talking
yeah,
about the Christmas
yeah, no,
tree.
yeah, but same floor plan though. Maybe,
Oh, really?
maybe. I thought we had talked about it before. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. But anyways, it's really cute, and but yeah, it's just not a lot moving, and they're buying too. And so trying to set up showings, they just aren't. They're not really. The reason we're not going out is they're not really worried about the coronavirus and all that. It's just that they are kind of like watching. They just want to see, and they want more showings on their house before they go look at others, and trying to get them off of that fence. But
Everyone, I'm putting the links for the data sheet and the slides in the chat window, so you can download those. I'll put the home builders research presentation there in just a second. But as I mentioned a minute ago, I forgot to share the data sheet with you and talk about it. So let's do that real quick before we end. We're almost to our time. Share screen. Where are we? Okay, I'm sharing my screen again. So here are some more numbers that we didn't discuss just yet. Okay, withdrawals, 427, that's this morning. In the past 7 days, there were 85 withdrawn properties. So let's look right here in the past 3 weeks. I know there's a lot of jumbled up data here, a lot of stuff. This is higher than last week. Last week was higher than the week before. So we have a 3-week trend of increased withdrawn properties. These are withdrawn conditional, so there's a chance that they will come back on the market.
You know what, Paul?
Mm-hmm.
I've been kind of dabbling in those withdrawals, the W,
Okay.
and I see them coming back on the market the same day by the same agent. So I think some of the agents are playing with those.
Well, funny thing, if they don't withdraw it completely and do a whole new listing, it doesn't do anything. It might resend it out to all the people who have automatic searches set up, but the days on market count doesn't change. And I don't know.
I think they just want it sent out like it looks like a new listing.
No, Kathy, on your note, on your comment, not I'm sorry, Paul, I won't dodge that too quickly.
That's okay.
If an agent lets their property stay on the market for 30 to 45 days, it looks old, stale, and male. So the best thing to do, as far as instead, if the property is priced correctly, and we went through that little crunch, whatever, if the property is priced correctly, by pulling it off the market, doing a brand new listing and putting it in fresh, you'll sell them. That's why we don't have our properties. If I lose 1 out of 100, it'll be a miracle.
Robin, correct me if I'm wrong, but WC doesn't accomplish that. We have to W it, right?
You have to, yes, you have to W it.
Right. You have to have Candy actually do the full withdrawal, which is this section down here.
Yep.
Right.
You do, and then you put it on fresh. You got it. Sorry.
I don't know if agents know the
That
difference.
resets it, huh?
Resets it.
Carolina, they didn't do that. They didn't let you do that.
That's what I'm saying. They don't.
I thought
that's what I'm
that
saying.
the days on the market were cumulative, regardless if you took it off the market and put it back on.
Yeah, our main number in North Carolina was CDOM.
It is not.
If you withdraw it, it starts with 0.
And it gets a new MLS number.
Correct. But what I'm saying is a lot of agents don't know that, and they're doing WCs and they're putting it back on just so maybe it can get emailed back again to all their. It doesn't reset the days on market though, unless you do this one. So the actual properties that have been withdrawn for real though, right here, 105 in the past 7 days. And it does take a lot of extra work because you do have to submit a new listing agreement and do a new. Yeah, I know. All right, back on market. So this section here will try to correlate what we just learned. So in the past 7 days, 202 came back on the market, but this is, I don't know for sure, actually. I need to call the MLS and find out if this is from C status to back on market or from W or WC to back on market. I don't know what this is because it's not an actual full search. It's on the home page of the MLS screen. So if anyone actually knows what this section is, it'd be good to actually know if they were coming from withdrawn conditional or coming from just under contract. I believe it's from under contract. Like if an escrow falls out.
Oh, it could be under contract. Yeah.
I believe that's what that is. So if you check here,
it kind of matches the W and the WC.
there's a distinct decrease for 4 weeks in a row here, which is good, of back on market properties. I think that's a good thing.
Huh.
It indicates lesser coming off and lesser falling out. Price reductions. More. 3-week trend of more. 4/13, we had 530 price reductions in all of Las Vegas. 6/18 the week after that, 6/28 for the past 7 days here. All right, that's it. Okay, let me get the home builders research dealio in the chat box here. Give me 1 second for that. In the meantime, you guys can talk amongst yourselves. Christopher, I'm not sure if I missed anything from the slides there. You were on the call with me.
Okay.
Oh, I said I saw from the Mortgage Bankers Association the current number of loans in forbearance is about 7% of loans. Up to for VA, FHA and VA, it's 10%, which is 100 times their March baseline.
So Paul?
Yes, ma'am.
I went into those back on markets.
Mm-hmm.
They're showing, you can click on that and they'll show them all to you. They're under contract, no shows, under contract shows, temporarily off the markets, T status, WC. Those are all included in the back on markets.
Oh, look at that. Okay. I'm in there right now. Let me see that.
Yeah, I think only the W's do not reflect there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting 25 on a page, so let me look at 100 on a page.
So we have WCs also then.
WCs, yep, let me see.
Oh yeah, how about that? Okay.
New stat, Mark, Paul.
Yeah, I see that.
New
From
stat to track. I'm just kidding.
I know. Oh yeah, under contract, temporarily off the market. Yeah, it is everything except for W. Oh, thanks for that. Nice.
There are a lot of MLSs that are removing the count completely.
Really?
Kind of meaningless, isn't it? You really don't, it may not tell you anything.
It's great for the seller to take it off. Buyers like to know how desperate the seller's getting, so it's kind of be a catch-22, depending on what side of the deal you're on. True.
Thanks for that, Kathy, and everyone else. Appreciate that. Teamwork. Yeah. Dana. Okay, guys, I guess that's about it, unless anyone has anything else there.
Paul, are you emailing the slides or are you putting them on this chat?
They're all there in the chat already. It looks a little bit jumbled over there, but the first one says data sheet, there's a colon, then the link. Second one says graphs, there's a colon, then the link. And then home builders research slides, colon, then the link. So you got to highlight the actual links, paste them into your web browser and all that, and download them. You guys all ready for a song?
Hey, Paul, I'm on my iPad and I can't do savings of those. Is there any way that you can highlight and put them in our Facebook group or something?
Sure, I'll do that right now.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks for your time, Paul. See you.
Thank you guys for participating. It's always good to see you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Paul.
See you next week, guys.
Mahalo, brother.
Mahalo. Bye, everyone.
Thank
Good to
you,
see your
guys.
faces. Bye.
Thanks a lot, Paul.
Thank you for your help.